Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Arina Hanif binti Yahya and my matric number is AA201033. Besides me, I have two partners working on this poster, Yashini and Wang Jingli. The topic chosen is Sustainable Aviation Fuel, SAF. In this video, we will explain a few things regarding SAF. Now, let's go to the first part, which is what is SAF? So, what is SAF? It is produced from sustainable feedstocks and is very similar in its chemistry to traditional fossil jet fuel. Using SAF results in a reduction in carbon emissions compared to the traditional jet fuel it replaces over the life cycle of the fuel. Some typical feedstocks used are cooking oil and other non-palm waste oil from animals or plants, solid waste from home and business such as packaging, paper, textiles, and food scraps that would otherwise go to landfill or incineration. Next part is the production journey for sustainable aviation fuel. Using SAF can reduce life cycle carbon emissions by up to 80% compared to the traditional jet fuel it replaces. First one, feedstock is collected such as household waste or waste oils. Secondly, feedstock is converted to sustainable aviation fuel. Next, traditional jet fuel is blended with sustainable aviation fuel to make it suitable for use in aircraft. And lastly, fuel is delivered to the airport and into the wing. Now I move on to the next part, is sustainable aviation fuel safe to use? SAF can be blended at up to 50% with traditional jet fuel, and all quality tests are completed as per a traditional jet fuel. It can be handled in the same way as a traditional jet fuel, so no changes are required in the fueling infrastructure or for an aircraft wanting to use SAF. In addition, any aircraft certified for using the current specification of jet fuel can use SAF.
Hi, my name is Yashini and my matric number is AA200859. I will explain why the sustainable aviation fuel is important. As we know, the fuel sustainable aviation SAF is the next generation aviation fuel made from 100% renewable waste and residual raw materials like used cooking oil. Jet fuel packs a lot of energy for its weight, and it is this energy density that has really enabled commercial flight. Today, there aren't any other viable options for transporting groups of people quickly over very long distances, so we are dependent on this type of fuel in aviation. A return flight between London and San Francisco has a carbon footprint per economy ticket of nearly 1 ton of carbon dioxide. With the aviation industry expected to double to over 8 billion passengers by 2050, it is essential that we act to reduce aviation carbon emission, and SAF is one way in which AirBP is doing that. Next, this can reduce the greenhouse gas emission by emitting 80% in carbon over the life cycle of the fuel compared to the traditional jet fuel it replaces. Depending on the sustainable feedstock use, production method, and the supply chain to the airport, replacing crude oil with renewable raw materials in the production of fuels help to combat climate change through preventing significant amount of fossil-based greenhouse gas emission from entering the atmosphere. That's all from me. Next person for Wang Jingling will continue her part. Thank you.
Hi and good day. My name is Wang Jingling. Now I will continue the presentation with the production of sustainable aviation fuel, which is also known as SAF. There are three main processes to make the SAF, which is hydroprocessed ester and fatty acids (HEFA), Fischer-Tropsch synthetic paraffinic kerosene (FTSPK), and alcohol to jet synthetic paraffinic kerosene (ATJ-SPK). First, HEFA fuels are involved with the feedstock options such as algae, unused vegetable oils, waste fats, oil, and greases. The process starts with the removal of oxygens from the molecules in the feedstocks. Then the mixture are treated with the hydrogen to yield the burnable right-length hydrocarbons for jet fuel, usually between 10 and 20 carbons long. The other process is known as the Fischer-Tropsch synthetic paraffinic kerosene (FTSPK). The feedstock involved is biomass such as the forestry residues, grasses, and municipal solid waste. The plant and human wastes and residues are oxidized to make synthetic gas, which is a mixture of hydrogen gas and carbon monoxide. A catalyst such as iron, cobalt, or ruthenium is added to this gas in order to trigger a process known as Fischer-Tropsch synthesis, which is to produce hydrocarbon. There is also a process called alcohol-to-jet synthetic paraffinic kerosene (ATJ-SPK). The process involves sources such as crops from sugarcane and corn, plant and agricultural wastes, and in some cases industrial flue gases. These feedstocks are converted to ethanol or isobutyl alcohol and upgrade the alcohol to long-chain kerosene by removing the water, treating them with hydrogen, and lastly combining short-chain hydrocarbons to form longer ones. Now, let's proceed to the last topic, which is why the blend limit exists. At present, SAF must be blended with the conventional jet fuel, which is maximum up to 50%. Some less environmentally favorable components of conventional jet fuel, like sulfur, allow seals to swell in engines, which newer engines do not have this kind of concern. SAF has been tested at 100% in military aircraft in the USA. While SAF production volumes remain low, a blend limit does not hamper the use of SAF, but it is expected the blend limit will eventually increase to allow 100% of this type to be used unblended. That's all from our group. Thank you.